Hey, it's Roy Richardson from the Neighborhood Tech Troublemaker, and tonight we're going to talk about organizing your digital life. Is your file structure just a bag of crazy cats? Can you not find your B-roll when you need it when you're doing editing of videos and saying big words like editing? Tonight we're going to talk about ways to organize your madness into something that you can use, and so we've got some great tips. And in order to do it, I brought a productivity guru here. I have got, of course, Coulter Reed. How you doing?
Hello.
There's your confetti introduction. So we're going to jump right into it because, hey, you're here, folks, and so I want to make sure you get as much value out of this as quickly as possible. So let's begin. And here we go with share anything. All right, let's share this. All right, so let's talk about some ways to organize your digital life. So first up, you need to clean up your desktop. You may not know this. For my Windows users, Mac users, we don't have this problem. Windows users, every one of those icons, every one of those files you land on your desktop actually eats away your memory. Your desktop is literally running in memory because it's got all those icons, all those files saved onto it. So you really need to figure out a way to clean up your desktop and save those files in your documents or somewhere else. So definitely go, start by cleaning up creating folders and, delete stuff you don't need. We have to go and do like spring cleaning for our computers. Think about it. Use cloud storage. So Coulter, what cloud storage, what providers do you use?
Most of them.
All of them.
I've got, and really, I should simplify and streamline this, but I've got iCloud, I've got Dropbox, I've got Google Drive, multiple Google Drives. I've got OneDrive, and do I need all of them? I could probably simplify and consolidate and pay less, but it's one of those things that just has developed over time. That's how chaos and clutter usually happens.
Yeah.
Is over time, new service comes out. I'm like, oh, let me try this out. What do they do? And then, oh, this one comes out with a new feature first to market. Like, oh, I want to try that out. And so, shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, got to try it out. And then sooner or later, you're just, reviewing your billing statement and like, oh yeah, right, that subscription just renewed. Okay.
Yeah.
Declutter that credit card bill a little bit too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes, if you don't pay for all the cloud services, you can save some money.
Yeah, and honestly, instead of paying for like a base tier on several, if you focused on one, you could probably go for a more advanced tier and actually get more features for less. But you just got to pick a horse.
I picked Google because I sold my digital soul to Google a long time ago. So, so I have 5 terabytes with Google, and that's where I save all my project stuff. But I do have OneDrive, and I do have Dropbox, and I do have iCloud because there's certain things I need extra space on my iPhone to back up to iCloud with. So, yeah, stuff like that. And then a password manager. We've talked about this on previous episodes where you need a password manager. Don't put your passwords on sticky notes or in an Excel spreadsheet. Just don't. Use use something else. Get a password manager, and then unsubscribe. Unsubscribe from any newsletters, promotional emails you don't need. This will reduce an amount of clutter in your mailbox. So
the easiest email to triage is the one that you never receive.
Yes, if you've gotten an email from something and you haven't read it in a while, it's time to unsubscribe. It really is. I'll do a demo here in just a little bit to show you how to find the stuff you can unsubscribe from. Very easy. In some places, Gmail makes it easy. Some places it doesn't. But lots of things you subscribe to have an unsubscribe button that's legit, and you hit it and it will unsubscribe you. And so definitely recommend that. And then set up filters. So I'll give you a quick demo on that as well. You can do filters or labels in your email to organize it. So, for example, I get this email from this one person. I love their emails, but I don't read them as soon as I get them. So I have a filter, and it's not yours, Coulter. I do read yours as soon as I get them. We're going to talk about Coulter's newsletter on productivity that he has. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So, but I do have a filter, and I love this content creator, but man, it's just emails are just so long. I'll just save them and I'll skim them and say, okay, delete. So, and then this one, this is more about getting rid of digital clutter in your life. You know that cousin that makes all those statements that you cringe every time you see it? Unfollow them. Just unfollow them. You don't need that kind of stress. You don't have to unfriend them on Facebook if you want to, not upset the family, but unfollow them, and that's just less stress in your life. You just don't need that. I don't know, Coulter, if you had to unfriend anybody.
Yeah, yeah. There are a couple of people that I've told Facebook, like, nope, I don't want to see their updates ever. I've paused
Yeah,
people for 30 days before,
yeah, I've
just
done.
until we can get past the election, and okay, then I'll go back to hearing what you have to say. But, um, but yeah, and even when you go online, be selective with your attention. I realized a couple of years ago that my wife and I have very different experiences when we go on Facebook, because
Yes,
she goes on and looks at the feed, and so she's just hearing everybody's random thoughts. And for some reason that psychologists can probably go off at great length on, we say things online that we would never say face to face to someone. And
yes,
so she's just reading all this anger and vitriol in the feed. And I go on Facebook to participate in a select list of groups and communities that are very positive and encouraging and supportive. And so
yes.
our experience going onto Facebook is night and day. And it all comes down to what are you going to pay attention to?
Yes, it's just madness. And then there's I've done the 30-day thing. I said, oh, let me mute this person for 30 days. Maybe they won't be quite as insane when they come back. And then no, they're still just as insane. I give them another 30 days, and then finally I just said, okay, that's it. I'm just unfollowing. And then they kept reaching out to me. Okay, I have to now unfriend you. I didn't want to do that, but I don't need you putting in my messages every day the latest insanity that you have, conspiracy theory and all that.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So,
No, it should be more of us though.
well, yeah, everybody, has their own flavor, and some
Yeah.
people like descending into madness. So then, next up, back up your files. Doggone it, back up your files regularly. So let me tell you, Coulter, what's your level of paranoia?
Um, well, you remember I mentioned how many cloud services I've got. Part of that is making sure that like, yep, got a copy here, got a copy there. The stuff that's really important, I've got stored on offline drives that are not connected,
Yes.
that I just connect periodically and update. Um, I've got a thumb drive that's in a safe deposit vault.
Yeah.
With some stuff. Do I need to be that level of paranoid? I don't know, probably not. But it's the rule of three.
Yeah.
One is none and three is one. If you have one copy of the data, you don't have a copy of it. If you have three copies of it, okay, that's now you're going to have a copy of it.
Yeah. You can't ransomware a USB drive in a Dropbox in a safety deposit box. You can't. You cannot.
No,
There's just no way. We say a
nope,
thing in the enterprise. You cannot ransomware a tape that's on the rack. You just can't. Go try it. You
no,
can't. You can't do that to LTO. If it's in the rack, it's not in a tape library. You're not going to ransomware that. So, but yes,
yeah, it's offline.
I back up my photos to OneDrive, Google Photos. I also back up my photos to Amazon because Amazon said, "We'll back up your photos for free." Sure, have at it. So I'm literally running 3 cloud services on my phone to back up every photo, and then I also back up everything using an external drive, just like you mentioned. And then I will unplug that external drive. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yep. And then I will periodically, okay, now it's time to do a backup. Let me back up everything. Okay, let me unplug it. I unplug the external drive because if a virus hits my computer, that
Yep.
external drive, I can get my stuff back, and so I'm not causing
Yeah.
mischief that way. So
Yeah.
that's
We have we have an in-house NAS, network
yeah,
attached storage, which is basically just a computer that sits on your home network, and it is optimized to share drives. And we have Time Machine set up on that so that the laptop, the desktop here, they just back up to it. So that's another level of
yeah,
protection. Now, if we ever if the cops ever come knocking and we have to try deleting data, we're not going to know all the places we have to look. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. All right, we're gonna do some shout outs here, and then we're gonna jump into demo times. I'm gonna show you some of the stuff we've been talking about. So, um, hey Mikey, how you doing out there tonight? Welcome, welcome. Okay, I need this. See the big old, I'll do. Yes, I'm a digital hoarder. I will confess. I should probably do a 5 or 7 step program. But I'm like, as long as I can get a hard drive to back up to, then hey, my life is good. Or I've got cloud storage. Hey Dagan. Marge, hey, how you doing? Tina Wakanobi, that's me. Heroic Coulter, Tina Wakanobi, Hunter Jackson, BG Green, everybody. Yep. Hey, saying hi to everybody. Sammy Superstar in the house. Eldon Jackson, yep. Shiny things. Yes, I suffer from shiny thing syndrome. It's true. I confess. And saying hi to Mommy Guide. Hey, Florence from Equip Institute. By the way, yep. Florence has been killing it with her shows on Friday nights at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't do Math Live normally, but it's the 3:30 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, Coach saying hi to Equip. Yeah, I just cleaned up my IG a few weeks ago. Yeah. Sometimes you do need to go through your social media and say, okay, out of the pool.
Yeah. Hey, who is this person? I don't know who this is.
Oh yeah, that's making me crazy. Like, I don't remember whoever this person is. I like the drive in the safe deposit box. I did. Yeah, if you're really paranoid, that's definitely one way to do it. So let me show you some cool stuff. So I know you say Roy is a Mac guy, but sure, I have Windows here too. So let's see some Windows. All right, so here's Windows. All right, so for my Windows friends out there, let's go take a look. I want to show you some things about OneDrive. So first up, here's my OneDrive and camera uploads. I'll go to a Capstone project here. So I want to tell you a couple things about OneDrive. First of all, if you see this little cloud icon, that means that file is only in the cloud and it's backed up. Let's see, before the show, all my stuff was backed up to the cloud, so you didn't see anything. Let me go and show you. Oh, hang on. So if you see an icon with a green check, that means that the file is local, but it's also backed up to the cloud. So hang on, let me just download a file. Hopefully this is not anything I don't want to show anybody. Let's see. That's a tree. Hey, this is a
tree.
Animal Kingdom. This is Animal. I recognize Animal Kingdom at Disney World. So notice the green check box, right? The green check mark right there. That means the file is local, but it's also backed up. So if you're using OneDrive and you've been using files a bunch, you got a lot of files downloaded local and you need to free up space. If you right click, and I'm going to show you this again in a minute, and go free up space, it's going to upload, it's basically going to do away with the local copy and only use the copy that's in the cloud. So I hit free up, and then here in a little bit, you'll notice all my checkboxes go to cloud. So now here in just a second, right now it's syncing, and when it gets through syncing, it will turn into a cloud icon to tell me that file only exists in my OneDrive cloud and not local. So the benefit there is that I know it's backed up, but it's not taking up space on my hard drive. And so this is a great way to help free up space. Now let me show you another thing. A lot of times I get somebody, how do I find those big files that are taking up all the space on my computer? Well, this works in Windows 10 as well, but it's easier in Windows 11. In Windows 11, you click the arrow right beside size. You can go here and say, hey, just show me the files that are between 128 meg and 1 gig. And then here, these are my files that are over 128 meg. So I can decide, do I want to delete these files off my local hard drive? Do I just want to save them in the cloud? That type of thing. So these are all in the cloud, so they're not taking up space right now. But if they were all downloaded local, then I've got to make a value call. Do I want to upload these files to the cloud? Do I want to delete these files? This is how, different things to kind of figure out what you want to do. This is how you free up space. And I use Google Drive and that type of thing. So I'll show you some things here in just a little bit. Who knows what's coming up now? No. Anyway, talking about syncing up my personal drives anyway. And I am a big fan of OneDrive. I like Google because I've been using it for so long and it fits more in my workflow. And then the next thing I want to show you is organizing files. Let's go look at that. So let me show you what my madness looks like. Let me just make this bigger. You Get the zoom out so everybody can see. So I have folders broke out. So I have like YouTube 2023, YouTubers. This is my YouTube folder for last year. And my method is I will do a folder per live stream. So I can put in graphics, any media, anything I need for that particular episode. And then also I'll have like a folder with backgrounds. So these are backgrounds I can use for overlays to put behind scenes. So I'll have a specific folder for that. If I'm working, then I have like my Ecamm graphics in a specific folder. So these are all Ecamm graphics that I can add in screens, holiday packs, that type of thing. Confetti. Everybody needs confetti. Ecamm profile. So I'll back up copies of my Ecamm profile to a folder. And these all get backed up to my Google Drive. So I literally have like, all these folders are Google Drive folders, and they're getting backed up. So, and one thing I meant to show you while I was in Windows, and I'll show you here while I'm on Mac. So on Mac, a lot of times people ask me, how much space have I got? And so if you go on a Mac and you go, whatever you've named your hard drive, you can name it something else, but get info and then take a look. It will tell you. So like in this particular case, I have a terabyte drive, and I've got 131 gig free right now. So X that out. On Windows, on my Windows machine, I'll go to the C drive, local C drive. I'll do right click on it and go properties, and then it will tell me how much space I have. So I'm using 44 gig of space, and I have 31 gig free. Okay, so
one of my favorite tricks with finding large files to get rid of is I've got there's an app called Daisy Disk, which you tell it to scan a hard drive or scan a folder, and it will go through and then give you a nice picture showing where the big files are that are taking up space. Makes it really fast to zero in and realize that, I've got gigabytes of files in my downloads folder that I don't need anymore, so I can just clear those off. Makes it real easy to stay on top of that.
The other thing, so here's my apps folder. So you say I've got like a lot of programs. If you find, the other thing you can do to free up space is delete programs you don't use anymore. If the one thing about a Mac is that usually the executable file is the majority of the application, but sometimes there'll be something underneath library. So I do have some Mac tools I use. I have a Mac Cleaner 3 Pro, and it does have an app cleaner utility, and it will scan the hard drive, and I can go through and tell it to go clean up stuff. It's a little kludgy, and you want to be careful. But so if you have some app that you don't use, you can go through here and say, hey, I want to go delete Brave browser, and it will uninstall, and it will go and not just uninstall the executable, which contains everything except for any library files. In libraries, usually where you put like config files, that type of thing for your specific. I can hit uninstall, and then we'll uninstall. This is a cool app. If I've got any kind of extensions, I can use it to clean up that. I delete WebEx about once a month and then keep having to load it back. I hate WebEx. But anyway, uninstall utilities, the ones that actually have a decent reputation are okay. I've seen some that are just evil and they do bad things. What's been your experience? Do you use anything like that?
I finally took the plunge and got Clean My Mac a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any problems with it yet. Okay. It seems to do what it says it does, and it hasn't been causing any problems.
It's got a good reputation. It was a little.
Yeah.
It seemed a little spammy at first. First few times I got ads for Clean My Mac, but I'm like, okay. Let's go and see.
One of the things I like about it is it will monitor what you do, and so even if you don't think that, I should go through the app, I should go through Clean My Mac to uninstall this app to make sure I got all the pieces, it will watch what you do, and if you just drag an app to the trash, it will recognize that you're trying to uninstall this, and it will offer to clean up all of the extra little bits for you.
Good stuff. Let's see. Quip says she was looking forward to demo time, so hopefully that was useful. If anybody's got any questions about that stuff, please hit me up. I recently organized my office, craft space, not my digital file, so perfect reminder to start with this next. Yes. Yeah, the problem is if you have a lot of space, how do I get OneDrive to show in my Finder for Mac? We have a small business using MS Online, and we use Macs. So Unfortunately, I don't have OneDrive installed on my Mac. I have it on my Windows instance
I
because I'm a
I have it
guy.
installed. I didn't have to do anything. I
Yeah,
mean, there's an installer for it. I just downloaded it, ran it, and then yeah, now I've got a folder in the Finder that I can go to
yeah.
that
I'm really
shows the.
surprised. I find everything in my Google Drive in Finder. I don't have any problem with there. So, but it's
Yeah,
just how do you get the OneDrive to show in Finder? Hmm.
yeah.
Brian, that's a very
There's
good
an integration
question.
there.
There's definitely integration there. Um I do find sometimes trying to run two different cloud drives can get a little crazy. Um, so as long as you're careful to not
If
fill up.
you're pointing them at the same folder on your Mac, that definitely you're asking for craziness right there.
Yeah, you have
Um,
to kind of pick and
hopefully,
choose.
yeah, because one of them makes a change and then they can just get into a sync loop like, oh, this file changed, let me update it. Oh, this file
Yeah,
changed, let me update it. So yeah, don't do that. If you have multiple services like that, just give each of them their own place on
yeah.
their own place to store their files on your Mac. Don't try to have them backed up to don't try to have one folder synced via multiple cloud services at the same time. That's not going to end well.
Brian, I will install OneDrive. Not tonight, but I'll install OneDrive and I will play around with it and I will do a video about it. So,
Make sure you
I
subscribe to Roy's channel so that
yeah,
you
subscribe to
get
my
that
channel
video
so
when it's
you'll
ready.
know. Yeah, subscribe to my channel so you know. Or if you want to send me an email at hello@techtrollmaker.live to say, hey, you promised me a video. I will email you and tell you when that video comes out so that you'll know. So anyway, so I definitely want to help you on that one. Let's go back to our presentation. So present. Ta-da. All right. So we're backing up. Oh, my volume got crazy loud. There we go. Turn it down. All right. So if you use Google Drive, if you want to kind of have the same kind of feature where like things are stay in the cloud and only are downloaded when you need them, then if you go to preferences, then you want to enable stream files. So this will keep a copy in Google Drive and only download a file when you need it. So you'll tap on a file and then give it about half a second, depending on your internet speed, and then it's available. It's super quick. And so that's what I do. If you have this space and you want to just do mirror and have everything local and everything in the cloud, then you can do mirror files. But that's going to have, if it takes 5 terabytes in the cloud, it's going to take 5 terabytes local. So just be aware of that. I did for a while save everything local, but I would create like special folders called backups, and I would drag things right into backup in my Chrome browser, so that backup folder wasn't local. So there is a way around that to do it that way. Um, and then OneDrive, I just showed you that already, that you can do the free up space, and I just showed you about the green check mark if it was down, if it was actually local, and the cloud icon if it was only in the cloud. And here's some ways to organize your files. So I highly recommend that you create folders with specific names. So, like, there's a documents folder, photos, videos. I also get granular enough where I'll do like all PNG files, all GIFs, or I may do a folder that's all B-roll videos. So, if I have a project I'm working on, I'll put like B-rolls. Coulter, what's kind of your workflow? How do you kind of manage the madness?
Yeah, I've got folders for high level folders for projects. To kind of go along with different roles. Like I'm doing 2 courses right now, and each of those has its folder that contains everything for that course. So I just like being able to know where I can go back and find stuff.
Yeah,
Uh, by default, files go into the documents folder, and that can get to be a mess if you don't take care to organize it a little bit. Not all of my documents go in the documents folder. Some do, but not all of them. Uh,
yeah,
one tip that I keep forgetting about and have to remind myself about is in the Finder sidebar. You've got that list of like half a dozen different shortcuts, like for your desktop, your documents folder, applications folder, downloads. Um, you can customize that.
oh
Any
yeah,
place that you go to regularly, just drag it into the sidebar. And then anytime you bring up a Finder window, you bring up an open or save dialog, just click and you're right there. You don't have to spend time navigating through to find where that folder is.
Yeah. So right here. So say for example, in my Google Drive, I'm going to go to this newsletter directory often. I can just drag it right over here, and I now have a shortcut to it. Makes it very quick to get
Mhm.
to it whenever I need to.
Yeah.
And then if you decide I don't need that, you can remove it from the sidebar. I don't need that
Yeah.
because
And
that makes it
what
easy.
you have shortcuts to like that, it will change over time.
Yeah.
As like when these courses end, I'll take their bookmarks out of the side and move on to what I'm doing then.
Now, this some may say it's descending into madness. I actually have a screenshots folder, so I actually have all my screenshots automatically right to a folder. Let's see, Command Shift 5. Suddenly, I can't remember how to do screenshots on a Mac. No, I do it every day. All right,
Command Shift 5.
so yeah, so like if you go to Command 5 and right here options, you can go and tell it where you want it to write yours, where you want it to save to. So I had created a special folder I call Mac to screenshots. The reason it's Mac to screenshots is because, well, I had a previous Mac screenshots, and this is second gen. And so I will use that in order to set it to save, and then I have this going to my Google Drive, backed up underneath Google. So all these screenshots, because if I'm working on a project, I'm doing thumbnails and I'm doing graphics for a video, I will do screenshots of a lot of stuff in order to kind of create media for different things. It's like Pablo Picasso says, like good artists borrow and great artists steal. So that's kind of my process there. I will screenshot something and then I will go through a process and then here you see these icons as well. So Google does the same thing. It has a cloud icon to show you what's local and what's being backed up to the cloud right now. Different things like that. So just like OneDrive that you have it. Anyway, and I'm not sharing my screen. So let's try one more sharing. Okay, so yep, sorry about that. So anyway, what I was gonna say is that if you do Command Shift 5, yes, and then right here under Options, and I go. This is where you can tell it what folder. You can choose other locations. So I made a custom location called Mac 2 Screenshots, and so every time I do a screenshot, it writes to that location. So kudos to my moderator wife that sent me a message that, hey, you're not sharing. And I'm still not sharing, which is the even cooler thing. So let's do, there we go. That looks more like what I wanted to share. So, wow. So anyway, yes, don't drink water and live stream at the same time. So anyway, but what I was going to say is, so I go here to options and choose where I want to save my screenshots. Anyway, I don't know that this actually saves you space, but it definitely, from a productivity standpoint, for me, it's a helpful thing. Do you have any kind of cool tricks like that you do, Coulter? I know you do, but what's that go-to trick that probably most people don't think about? This is the Coulter trick that makes things more productive in your workflow.
So I was just kind of answering Tina's questions in the comments, asking if you can have a file in, like one copy of a file that shows up in multiple places in the file system. And yes, aliases lets you do that. You just make an alias. I think it's Command L, and then put it where you need to, or I think it's Command Option drag from the original to where you need it, and then you have you can put a copy of that file wherever you need it if you want to have that file accessible from multiple places throughout the file system. Right. Now it's one file. It's not actually a copy. You're not duplicating it. It's a reference back to the original file. And this works not just on the disk, but this works across network drives as well. So part of my workflow as I'm creating video content is things start off in an ideation folder, and then recording, and then editing, and then there's a published, which is basically the archive. Now, 3 of those are on an external SSD drive that I can connect to the Mac Studio or to the laptop, depending on which one I'm going to be working on. But the published folder, that archive, is on the NAS. It's on a network drive. But I've created a shortcut to it on, in the same place where I have folders 1, 2, and 3. I have an alias to 4,
Hmm.
And then as I'm ready to drag stuff over, it's right there. It looks like it's just another folder. I drag it in, and it will connect to the network drive if it's not already connected, and move it over there.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Florence says she uses Stream Deck buttons for regularly used storage locations. That's cool. Yeah, I I don't use my Stream Deck for a lot of Mac shortcuts. I use it in Final Cut Pro, and I definitely use it in Ecamm.
Oh, Final Cut Pro. We should talk about that more sometime.
Yeah,
I have a lot of just general automation stuff that I do with my Stream Deck.
hmm, good stuff. We should do. Probably could do an entire episode on just Stream Deck. Let's see. Tina One says. Well, Tina was asking, is there a filing system where there's a master file, but you can use, and that was kind of what you were alluding to.
Yep,
Same
that was
file.
the question I was answering.
Yep. Okay.
And if you want to get more technical, you can go in through Terminal and create hard links so that it looks even more like, yep, the file actually exists in multiple folders at the same time, and you can delete any of them that you want to because they're all a copy of the actual file, and the file doesn't actually go away until you delete all of the copies of it. Then it will finally cease to exist. Whereas with the alias, if you delete the original, then none of the aliases are going to work.
Yeah.
But that is not exposed through the Finder. Aliases are exposed through the Finder. That's an easier model for most people to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Hard links are not exposed through the UI, but it's there if you're an advanced power user. You want to, you really like getting into the nitty gritty.
Be careful with that. That's very dangerous,
yes.
by the way. Yes.
Yes, I'm acknowledging that it's there. I am not telling you to use it.
I had to do that one time with so I had like an early MacBook and it had an SD card and I had moved the music library out of iTunes there, and so then I dropped the terminal and I said, hey, hard link, this is where you always write your music library to, so I could get back 128 gig of disk space. It's like,
yep.
Yeah, I had no idea my music library was that big until I bought a Mac with only 256 gig hard drive. Storage, I should say. Let's see. Yep. And so, thank you, Cold, for answering that for Tina. Let's see. And then she said, yeah, the files retain the master file if you remove it, delete. So, yeah, you kind of talked through that. Yep, aliases are a way to do it. All right, let's see here. I have a 758 megabytes of Gmail, including help me, tech troubleshooter. You're my only hope. Yes. I recommend filters. And having those filters, if you got a keyword, like, for example, you have 1,000 messages from this one particular person, you can write a filter to send everything to deleted items. In fact, because you can do that, we'll play with that here in just a minute. So, yep. Hey, Philip. Yep. Fishstick USA, very similar issue here. Tall boy in the house. Command plus option. Yep. Thanks. I'm tall boy. Yes, not duplicates. Yay. I need to look in the aliases. Yeah, all right, cool. Yep, hard links. Be careful with the hard links, Tina. Very careful with that. Getting geekier about a minute. It is fun, but be careful. So
yeah, you can do some cool tricks with them, but you're also taking the safeties off.
Yep.
You're disengaging the holodeck safety protocols at that point.
All right, so let's take a look at Gmail. So earlier we were talking about unsubscribing. So yeah, if you literally just go search for unsubscribe, you can go and find emails. If they are like mostly legit, you will notice right here that Gmail finds it and puts an unsubscribe button right here, and you can click on that and say, yeah, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And you can unsubscribe, and then you can then say after that, move it to spam if you're sure you want to unsubscribe to that.
If it's a legitimate email list, don't mark it as spam. That hurts them.
Well, that's true.
Only mark it as spam if it's actually spam.
It's not spam. That's true. That was actually legit at one time. I just don't read that anymore. I'm not as happy anymore.
Unsubscribe and delete it, but don't mark it as spam.
So, anyway, then the other thing is definitely I love filters. Suddenly my menu's acting a little crazy. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out where everything went. Okay, so right here, you can do a search for something. Let's see. Let's see. Pat Flynn. I'm not going to get rid of Pat Flynn's emails. I like Pat Flynn. Let's see. Let me type in Flynn. Flynn. Go find emails from Pat Flynn. So it'll find all the emails from Pat Flynn. And after I find them, I can go and say create a filter. And then I can say, you know what? I just want you to delete it. And it will just go through and delete those 1,000 emails from Pat Flynn. And, it's been a while. So I'm going to go clean up all those emails from Pat Flynn. So I love Pat Flynn, by the way. But he sends me a lot of emails. We must be BFFs, and I just don't know it. Because he sends me a lot of stuff. So that, filters.
He's a good BFF.
Huh?
He's a good BFF.
He is. Oh, Pat Flynn's awesome. If you don't watch his channel, you really should. He's amazing, and he has a lot of really good programs. And I've read several of his books, like Superfans, which is an amazing book. So all good stuff. All good stuff. So let's go now and back to more presenting. Present. All right. So yeah, definitely you can create folders by the type of documents that are going to be in there. So that's a really cool thing. In Windows, you can actually set up icons to match what's actually in the folder. So if it's all music, you can go change the icon on the folder to have like a music note on it to show that type of thing. And then subfolders. So definitely, invoices, receipts, contracts. I do like PDFs. I get a lot of clickbait. I'll fall for give them my email address and they send me a PDF. And then I'll download the PDF, and then a week later I'll say, you know what, this is garbage. Let me unsubscribe. But I love the PDF because it was good information. It was free information there. And then use descriptive names. Don't just name everything document 1, document 2, document 3. Give it a name. Marketing plan Q2 2003.docx. Don't do .doc1. Give them real names, something that means something to you, so that when you go searching for it, it's great. You can find it more easily. So, and then something. Yep. Anyway, so those are like my big tips there for how to make your life easier. If we go here to Windows, I can go personal and I can create a folder, new folder, and then I can create one that says invoices.
Did you mean to share a different screen there?
I did, and it's supposed to let me share everything, and it didn't. So let's try this one. There we go.
There we go.
Sharing. I love when things share like it's supposed to. Thanks for keeping me straight there, Coulter. So I will create a folder by name, so the type of document's going to be in there. I also like to date things. So let's say, for example, I want to do 2023, and then I'm going to move the invoices folder I just created into 2023 so that, come on, there we go, so that I'm keeping up my invoices. So hey, if you're running a business, you want to remember all the stuff you did in 2023, and then tax time comes in 2024, you'll have all that information in one place already because you organize yourself. You could create a folder called tax documents, though I don't recommend backing up your tax documents to the cloud. I recommend backing those up to a local, detachable USB drive, or a thumb drive, some way not to have those documents where hackers can go for them. So
back those up into the safe deposit box.
Yes, put those in the safe deposit box. Actually, with tax documents, I hate to kill a tree, but you could print those. That would be something to do, and you could put that in your safe deposit box if it's big enough, depending. But anyway, so yeah, that's just kind of my process. I just name my folders that are important, and then as I kind of showed, if you want to go find, hey, where can I find files to get rid of? Hey, I want everything that's larger than 128 meg to 1 gig, and you can go and say, I need these video files, and delete them. That's a quick win to figure out how can I clean up my C drive and just go through and delete them, or go ahead and move them up to your cloud space and don't have them local. So these are already in my OneDrive, so I don't have to worry about them taking up space on my hard drive. So those are a lot of my tips. Coulter, what else do you suggest?
Let's see. Equipment Institute's got a question about, do you use Hazel or Keyboard Maestro to manage files? I have Hazel set up. It's just a couple of rules, and it's basically, hey, if I'm not using a file, then Hazel will notice and go ahead and get rid of it for me. I do use LaunchBar heavily with files. The most common shortcut that I use is select a file and then Command Space to invoke Launch Bar. Start typing in the name of the app that I want to open it with, and then okay, my fingers know how to do this. My brain doesn't. I think it's Command D to drop the file into that app. Makes it very easy to just open files with any app from wherever you are on the file system. Little things like that. Those are huge time savers for me. I do have Keyboard Maestro. I do use it for a lot of things, but not with manipulating files.
I haven't used any of those apps. I need to go look into that.
Yeah. And that launch bar thing, I have a lot of friends who tell me like, oh, you should be using Alfred. Alfred looks very powerful, but it doesn't do that simple open a file with any app thing that I use constantly with Launch Bar. And so I haven't been able to switch over to Alfred. I've played around with it. I've checked it out, but Launch Bar is just too ingrained in my muscle memory.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of stuff I don't know the keyboard shortcut for because muscle memory just does it. So yeah, a Fishstick. Philip's like, are you suggesting I need to buy a Mac so I can struggle with 2 operating system file storage issues? Yes, I am. No, I mean, just pick the OS you want, whatever it causes. The thing is, with content creation, it is friction. Friction is the enemy of content creation. If it takes an act of Congress to get your equipment set up before you film a video, you will not film a video. If you're running an operating system you do not know well, it will stop you from doing creative things because you spend too much time frustrated with what's going on. So you got to pick what works for you. And, for your content creation journey, you just got to make sure things are as frictionless as they can be. I know I struggle with having like a small studio. My space is real small, but over time, I used to have a lot of lights and stuff that were all like stands and everything. That was impossible to deal with. So finally, I mounted everything to the desk. So my desk looks insane now. It has like a light, a teleprompter. I've got like 3 webcams, and then I've got my Sony. So it's this, and then I've got like a Stream Deck and a Loop Deck. I actually have 2 Stream Decks. The 15 button I don't use anymore because now the 32 button takes care of all my button needs. But yeah, it's all about eliminating friction. So Donna says you absolutely should buy a mic, Philip. You should definitely buy one. I'm looking at Macs. So Coulter, if you were to buy a Mac right now, and I guess it depends if you're looking for a laptop. The M2 Mac Mini Pro is my dream machine right now. If I had to go buy another Mac, and I don't because my Mini is just kicking butt still. But
yeah, it's a great desktop machine.
It is.
Anytime you're buying a computer, look at what you're going to be using it for.
Yeah.
But if you only need to use it in one place, the Mini is a great machine. Lets you upgrade the computer and the display separately, so that you're not replacing the display every time you want to get a new machine. If you wanted to be more portable, then a MacBook, obviously.
Okay.
But the M2 chip, it's
man, amazing. It's amazing. I've been looking at specs.
It does good work.
It's an M2 Mac Mini Pro is faster than the cheese grater. So I mean, that's amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's good stuff. Gosh, so many toys. Yes, I for a long time thought you had to have the perfect setup before you could go live or before you could do YouTube. So I was collecting gear. Dagan says when I first started I had to set up and take down. Now I have a dedicated space. You absolutely have to have a dedicated space to really make things work. I want to show you Coulter's website. So let's do that. Let's get the sharing going here. All right. So if you are not subscribed to Coulter's YouTube channel, I recommend going here. It's at Coulter Reed, and I can let you promote yourself. I was going to say you should talk about yourself, but the other thing I wanted to share is
I'm perfectly happy to let other people sing my praises, Roy. So I'm Coulter Reed. I am here to help you get the day-to-day out of the way so that you can stop wasting energy on chasing the dream and start living the dream. That's a combination of personal growth and productivity hacks. Change your mindset so you're thinking about things the right way, and get done what you need to do so you can focus more on the things that you want to be doing. You can find me at coulterreed.com, or I'm Coulter Reed on all the things. So, yeah, come subscribe. I'm trying to put out regular YouTube content now. I'm about to actually next month is my 10-year anniversary of when I started my blog, and the current adventure is okay. Let's do video content. So
that's cool, and
come follow me.
You got to go
take the journey with me.
And click right here where it says website, and go to his website, and you need to subscribe to his newsletter. It comes out at least once a week. A couple times you were twice a week. But anyway,
most of the time it's once a week. Occasionally, if there's something special going on, there'll be a second email. But try to keep it. Try to keep I try to keep the signal to noise ratio very solid.
And definitely, I love your inspirational quotes, and then I love the productivity tips you give that are just phenomenal. I'm trying to be more productive and more focused and everything, and so I really like the hints and the suggestions that you make, and I'm working on implementing them. I'm a little slow to take on new things for some reason. So anyway,
thank you, Roy. And yeah, it takes time to change. We can make the decision to change now, but then it takes time to steer the ship.
Yes.
Because we have all that momentum and that muscle memory built in, all those habits that have been taking us in one direction. We now have to change those habits so that they take us someplace else.
And Tina says happy anniversary for those 10 years of your blog. So yeah.
Thank you.
And Philip Fishstick USA says he is subscribed. So awesome. Thanks for doing that. So
thank you, Fishstick.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's it. Any closing thoughts we should share with our crew out here while they're out there?
Oh, simplify. You can go overboard with creating taxonomical folder structures in Finder or in Gmail. But really, if you just get in the habit of putting things away when you're done, so you have one place to go to look for them. Search functions are getting better all the time. So just, email, I don't file emails anymore. I just archive them. And then when I need to find something, I search for it because it's faster. So find what works for you. Keep it as simple as possible to get the friction down, and then get out of email and go live life. Find the files you were looking for so that you can do something with them.
Yes, and I had to go look up taxonomical. So I thought I knew, but I wasn't positive. Concerned with classification of things, especially organisms. So there you go. So
oh, good. I used the word correctly.
You did. Yeah, you did great. I was just like, wait a second. I need to go look that up to make sure I know what that means. So anyway.
I love that you fact-checked me live on that.
Oh, no. I wasn't going to show it if you were wrong. Don't worry. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just kept on going. No, I needed it for my own reference so I wouldn't forget. It's like, oh, that's a neat word. I like that word. I'm going to add that to, add some big words to my vocabulary. So taxonomical. There you go. So that's the word of the day. Tall boy, if you're out there, I think you need to use that as the word of the day for your show tomorrow night. So, no, Tall boy, the Lab Tech Show, he goes live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And so he does a word of the day from Merriam-Webster, and Revis comes on and tells us his definition for the word of the day as well. So it's good stuff. So, Coulter, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I really do appreciate it. I felt like I think I talked too much tonight. I didn't let you talk enough. I need to hush and let you talk. So, I got excited. I don't know why. I do know why, because I love.
You're passionate about sharing what you know to help people. That's great.
I know. That's what I want. I want to help people. So, that's the whole point. But anyway, yep, that's it. Yeah. So everybody have a wonderful, fantastic night. And let's get the koi pond. I like the koi pond. Anyway. All right. And that's our show. Oh, hey, BGG. If I declutter, I wouldn't be able to find anything. Declutter, including digitally. Yes, that is true. My YouTube is 10. Oh, wow. Tina One says her YouTube channel
Wow.
is 10 years.
Way to go, Tina.
In June, so that's fine.
That's awesome.
But only consistent for the past year. Yeah, but your channel has grown amazing, so I gotta get caught up with you guys. And Fishstick says, thanks, Calder. Thanks, Roy. Thanks, everybody. You guys have an amazing evening. Thanks for going by. Bye. Bye. There'll be a video right here. YouTube says, watch this video. So just go, I don't know where it's at. It's in the corner down there. Find it. Go find it. Bye.